but I think that if I don't know if it'll make a difference.
No, it looks good.
All right.
Yeah, I have like my lighting's not that great. It's coming from like right above me. I'm an angel, so I was a little
You're
worried
damn right
about
you are.
it. All right, let me pull up my shit here. Okay. All right. Three, two, one. Hey, Film Vaulters. Welcome to the Film Vaulters. I'm Mitch Burns. I'm your host. This week, I am here with listener of the Film Vault and podcaster Steve Rice. Steve, how are you?
I am flipping fantastic. How are you, Mitch?
I'm great.
Good. Good
Uh,
to be back.
yeah, it's good to have you. As always, my guest picks a topic that the Film Vault podcast has done over its 20-year tenure. And today, Steve has chosen, no shock to me, top five heist films, which we will be doing a little later in the program. Steve, why don't you start us off with why you picked top five heist films?
Well, my favorite director is Steven Soderbergh,
Mm-hmm.
and he does a lot of these, as
Mm-hmm.
we'll get to. Um, but I love a good heist film. I love a good film where I can sit there and kind of immerse myself in it and think, yeah, I could do this. But then after it's done, it's like I think that maybe I am too loose lipped. I would get
Yeah.
caught. I would never do good in the mob.
I
So
feel like I could do I would kind of have fun doing the actual heist part. Um, but I think I'd be too chicken shit to do it, but it'd be fun.
yeah, I mean, and you have to have a crew around you because if it's just you, then it's just a robbery. You know,
That
it's
is
not, it
true.
doesn't become a heist until you have a crew with you.
Right.
So, but yeah, I think I would look for the whatever word I'm accolades
Echo?
afterwards
Gotcha.
and kind of say, hey, I pulled this off after 5 beers in a bar, going, yeah, I pulled this off, and
Yeah, you hear hear about the wet bandits? Yeah,
yeah,
that's me. That's so Steve and I know each other. We have been on podcasts with each other before. He's been over on my podcast, the Hollywood Persona podcast, several episodes. And Steve has his own podcast. Why don't you tell us a little bit about The Grass is Blue?
yeah, the grass is blue podcast. We have just started. We're up to episode 34. We just recorded right before this one. And basically we talk about nonsense.
You guys are
We
funny as fuck.
Yeah, I thank you. I like to think that we are. What we are is there's four of us. There's two old guys, myself and my co-host Bill. He's 1 year younger than me. We're in our early 50s. And then we have his son and his stepson who are both 20. So we have the young perspective and the old perspective,
Yeah.
and we come up with a topic and we just kind of riff from there. And if we stay on topic, it is something to behold, which
And
we seem not to be able to do sometimes.
it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to listen to you guys. I listen as much as I can because I
Thank
always
you,
get a
thank you.
good laugh. You don't mind being the butt of the joke sometimes,
Oh no,
which is like something that I always love about somebody is when it's like, hey, if you want to poke fun of me, that's fine. I got thick skin. It's if it leads to good comedy, make fucking fun of me. That's great.
yeah,
Um, Sometimes
yeah,
I don't always have thick skin, but I do like self-deprecating humor. So
yeah. Well, it depends on who you're hanging out with, and I've been hanging with Bill for over 30 years,
yeah,
and we know each other in and out, and we have the ability to um, not agree on anything, which is why we call it the grass is blue. Because if he saw that patch of grass and said, "Hey, patch of grass is green," I would say, "No, it's blue," just to argue with him. So
that's and so it's his son and his stepson.
yes, yeah, and they're both 20.
Yeah, and they're pretty close too. Then
Yes,
that's
yeah,
good.
they're good kids, and
They are.
they are funny to a fault,
Yes.
and we don't like them to be that funny, but they they are they are freaking funny. So it's kind of like if you were at a party and you were just in the room and you had four people talking and having a conversation and just enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
So we never take ourselves seriously. We don't do politics. We don't do religion. We don't do anything really controversial. Uh, One time we each picked three songs, and we had to guess. It was three songs that you were embarrassed to say that you absolutely
Yes.
love, and the others had to pick it. And if you got it wrong, you had to do Bean Boozled. Do you know what Bean Boozled is?
Oh, yes, with
Those horrible jelly beans.
mhm.
Yeah. So there's two identical jelly beans in the box, and one says, it's blueberry, and the other one says it's dirty dishwater or an old bear or something weird like that, or liver and onions. And yeah, chaos ensued.
Yummy.
It's the closest that I've ever come to hurling
On
in a
air.
long time. So
Uh,
we just have fun. We're 30, like I said, we're 34 episodes in,
that's awesome.
and it's just it's the love of my life.
That's good. Don't tell your wife.
No, not at all. We're my daughters who are
Yeah.
probably listening as well. So
Yeah. No, it's a really funny episode. I will link to the episode. It's a really funny show. I will link to it below. And I knew you were gonna pick heist films, so I am excited. I I'm glad there's not 5 Oceans movies, or
Yes.
else that would probably be your whole list. I doubt Ocean's 8 would make your list either. I don't know if you've even seen it.
I have. It's I think it would be an also ran.
Yeah.
It's worth mentioning, just because of the characters were in it. I didn't think it was all that great of a movie, but the
Yeah.
cast was very, very, very good.
Oh yeah. Okay, so well that leads me to some of your favorite movies, obviously besides the Ocean's films. What are some of your favorites?
Some of my favorites. I have. I don't know whether you can see it in the background here. Yeah, over here. Well, actually, it's over right. I'm backwards on my screen. Right here is one of my favorites. It's Jurassic Park. I'm sure you're familiar, a little bit familiar with that.
Yeah,
Right?
I've heard of it before.
Yeah. So I have that, and then over next to that on the wall is Jaws, which is my all-time favorite movie. But both of these are the sheet music for the themes. So
Right.
and it has the logo behind it.
Two of the best theme songs ever
Yes.
written. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ironically, by the same guy. I wonder how that worked.
Oh. Hmm.
Actually, up here, now that I'm looking, I have all my favorites here. Up here, I have a scene from Rounders
Okay.
with Matt Damon and Ed Norton and John Malkovich.
Mm-hmm.
And my other dirty little one that I cannot stop watching is The Equalizer with Denzel Washington.
I think I saw the first one.
Yeah,
I
first one was
don't.
excellent. I watched it again this morning at like 4 a.m.
I do, because the third one's coming out, so I think I'm gonna dip my toe into the second one, or at least rewatch the first one. But yeah, I mean, I love, who doesn't love Denzel, right?
Yeah, yeah. I've been on a Denzel kick a lot recently, going back and watching a lot of films that I had seen, and some that I had forgotten and haven't watched in years.
Yeah,
American Gangster and
yeah,
Safe House. Man on Fire I just watched on Thursday, which again is phenomenal. It's kind of the Equalizer light.
yeah. I
But
need to rewatch. I loved Man on Fire. I used to watch
yeah,
it all the time. Such a great movie.
yeah.
Um,
Dakota, it's nice to see like these actors and actresses that got started out, like Dakota Fanning,
yeah.
and now she's so much older, and now
Yeah.
you see her in like the Zombieland movies, and you're like, wow, that's
Oh
that's the
yeah.
same that's the same girl.
Wait, is that Abigail Breslin? Isn't that in
Is it?
Zombieland?
Is it? I don't know. You're
Dakota
right.
Fanning is well, she doesn't actually, I don't know if she does a whole ton now. I don't know. I haven't seen her a lot, but what's that?
I got them mixed up.
Yeah,
I think,
Abigail
yeah,
Breslin has been, but like they're both like Abigail Breslin was like Little Miss Sunshine, and
yeah.
Dakota Fanning's. What did I just see her in? I saw her in that De Niro horror movie they did together. I can't remember the name.
Well, she was.
Just
Oh my God, is she in the new? No, she's not in the new Indiana Jones. Uh,
Dakota.
yeah, it's not. The Secret Life of Bees. Uh,
Oh,
I Am Sam. War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise.
yeah,
And
yeah.
Tom Cruise movies that I really liked.
I love War of the Worlds.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, like it's I don't know, it's kind of a guilty pleasure. Most recently, Fanning was in she had like a little part in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes.
Oh, she's gonna be in
And
the Equalizer 3.
Ocean's 8. How about that?
Oh yeah. Hide and Seek, that's the De Niro one I
Yeah,
watched.
yeah.
It was unmemorable. Um so how long have you been listening to the Film Vault?
It was very early on. I've
Yeah.
been listening to the After Disaster for geez, over 10 years. And the Film Vault got me to listen uh to the After Disaster.
Okay.
So I started very early on, and the thing that switched me over, well, not switched me over, I never left, um, was the Christmas episodes when they
Oh.
bring Mike and Tyler on,
Mhm.
and just to listen to Anderson get pissed off at whatever Brian gets him, uh, they are my favorite episodes. So
Yeah. Those are good episodes. Yeah. So I was gonna say a memorable film vault moment for you, but would that be
yeah,
like
by far,
Christmas? Yeah,
yeah, the
Christmas episodes.
Christmas episodes are my favorite. Um, the abuse that Brian takes, and he accepts it, and sometimes he sings it back, and sometimes, even though Anderson and Brian known each other for years, I don't know that Anderson knows how to take Brian sometimes, because he catches him, because Brian's quick. He is
I
quick with his zingers.
Oh yeah, Brian is quite the comedian. Quite like I never realized before. I he makes me laugh more than Anderson as of late. Sometimes like nothing against Anderson, obviously, but God, some of his like one-liners and stuff just slay me. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I've also come to terms with the fact that Anderson and I he used to wax poetically about these movies, and I would say, "Oh, I got to see that," and I put them on. And the more Anderson movies I watch, the more I realize that he and I are not on the same page.
no.
So I stopped. I think the last one that he got me to watch, and I thought, what am I looking at? Is Welcome to the Dollhouse. And I'm not a Clockwork Orange fan.
Mm.
Um, I haven't seen Route 66 because I haven't gone that far, because I know that that's what he loves, and I just don't want to be disappointed. Is that bad?
No, I was just trying to. I just watched Welcome to the Dollhouse.
I
With
haven't seen it in years, but it's been at least 10 years, and I that was it. That was it for me.
so you definitely line up with Brian more than
With
you do.
Brian, yes, more
Yeah.
often. Except I don't like Transformers, but
Um. Yeah.
more Brian movies than Anderson.
Well, that's good. Most of the people I've had on have said they lean more towards Anderson. So you are our first Brian leaning guest. So that's great. He'll be happy to hear that.
I take the flag and I will run with it.
I mean, Brian has a really good take, and I do love the whole. Recently, it's been about the fun meter. Oh, how fun was that movie? And you know
Yeah,
what? He's not wrong.
and everything's a three.
I I just got home from into across the Spider Verse.
Okay.
Yeah, and then halfway through, I was like, this is probably going to be very high on Brian's funometer.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was a good one. Um, so what was I? That's all my questions, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm here if you have any more.
You're not going
Wow.
anywhere. So let's get into our top five heist movies. Um, I'm gonna go first, so then you'll go last. Uh, what was your criteria? Not obviously, but were there some that you were like, I'm gonna leave this off because it doesn't have this or something?
I like heist films that open and close with a job. That's just a personal preference.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes it opens and sometimes it closes. Like for an example, like a Baby Driver
Mm-hmm.
opens
Mm-hmm.
and closes. Okay. Like I said before, I picture myself pulling these off perfectly, but I think I'm too good of a person to even consider or sit down with a big wall and put a map up and stuff like that.
And plan out your
Um, yeah, exactly, and connect it with red string and stuff like that.
yeah.
Um, I do prefer. I don't mind this. I don't mind them going in with guns, but
Okay.
I think it's a better movie if they don't use guns.
Okay.
Like there's a couple on my list where they don't, but I mean you can have a heist film where they just go in blasting.
Yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop 2 is about a group doing pulling off heists, and they usually go in and start shooting people. Although I wouldn't consider that a heist movie. It has heists,
Yeah.
but like Heat.
Yeah.
Heat
Yeah.
is obviously on my list. I hope it's on too. No.
You can't admit that.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna bleep that out.
All right.
No. Uh
But like I said, and you have to have a crew.
yeah.
If you have a crew, it is a heist film, and
Yes.
I am I will love it even if it's bad.
So mine, there's two of them. All of them have a crew. My number five has, I'll say, less than three people or about three people, but I uh I went a little more unconventional route with mine. I don't know why. Maybe because to try to balance against yours, because I know yours are going to be probably some of the best heist movies. So I went like a little like different, like a little on the other side, a little unconventional. But we'll see where we'll line up. I could see us having one crossover, maybe two,
Well, okay, all
maybe
right,
two.
we'll see.
So my
Are we
number
doing
five. What?
are we
Sorry.
doing also Rans as well?
Oh yeah. At the
Okay,
end, I've got a few, quite a few. Yeah.
okay.
Um, So my number five is definitely the most unconventional. It's I don't know if you've seen it. It's from 2015. The movie is called Cop Car. It's starring Kevin Bacon,
I have not
and
seen this.
I love this movie. It's a small little movie, and Kevin Bacon is this. He's a cop. He is a dirty cop, and he goes out to dump a body from his cop car, and he takes the body and he drags it and he disposes of the body, and these two kids, like, and when I say kids I mean probably 10, 12, 13 years old, something like that, or under 10. They find his car with his keys in it. He thought he was alone, but they find his car and they steal his cop car. And it takes them across this journey, and it's a lot of fun. Basically, the heist is the stealing of the cop car, and it's nothing more than that. It's you do what you other things are uncovered. There's mysteries, and I guess it's the lowest stakes of a heist movie you could think of.
Okay,
But I just wanted to shed some light on Cop Car. I know Anderson loves this movie. Uh, Not enough people have seen it. 2015 movie, just so great.
okay,
Made me fall back in love with Kevin Bacon, who kind of, you'd see him here and there or whatever. But then this one, I was like, oh my god, he needs to be in more. Like he is pretty great. So, Cop Car, check it out.
All right.
All right, you're number five.
My number five. It's such a my five can go from 5 to 1 and 1 to 5
Yeah,
on any given day. But I will go with Heat.
of
Uh,
course.
of course. Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, uh, my man Danny Trejo, or however you say his name. He's in it too. Um, and Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer is always
Yep.
yeah, he's good. Um, even though it's very long, I believe it's almost close to 3 hours. It's somewhere. It's more than 2.5.
Oh yeah.
So much so that when the VHS came out, it was a double.
Oh really?
Yeah, yeah. I think I still have it somewhere here in Steve Land. But yeah, there's it's armored cars and they're pulling off. It's a cat and mouse game that ends with two of the most iconic actors that we have, and it's not something that is I'm trying to think who is the girlfriend of Val Kilmer. Is it Sharon Stone? No.
Ashley Judd.
Yes.
There's
Yeah.
Ashley Judd, and then there's I can't remember the other girl's name. Diane Venora, Amy Brennan, Amy Brenneman is in it as well. Natalie
Yeah.
Portman's in it. Yeah, I forgot about
Okay.
that.
Yeah. Um, one of my favorites. Even and all five of my films are movies that you watch that you could pick it up anywhere. You could pick it up in the middle, and you're gonna watch it.
Oh
It's
yeah.
it's not a question of, hey, I should probably watch this from the beginning because you've watched it so many times. Um, but there's guns in this one, um, but they keep getting Robert De Niro and his crew. He's losing hold of his crew because things are not going right with each job that they pull off, and his showdown with Al Pacino at the end is classic.
Oh well, solid pick. Probably should have been on my list, but it is not. I decided against it.
Okay.
Not for any particular reason. It's amazing. It's an amazing movie, one of the best. But just just went a little different.
As
So
you should.
yeah.
As you should.
Speaking of that, my number four. So my number five had two people doing a heist. All they did was steal a cop car. My number three, my number four has three people pulling off heists. It starts with two, but then another member is added to the group. The tagline line of the movie is two is a company, three is a crime, and the movie is called Bandits from 2001, starring Billy Bob Thornton, Bruce Willis, and Kate Blanchett.
I have not seen this, but I've seen it on every list that I pulled up.
Not a lot of people have seen this movie. It's definitely a comedy with a little bit of romance. It's more drama and like crime thriller, but there's a love triangle here. We got these two guys, Bruce Willis and Billy Bob Thornton. They break out of penitentiary, however you say that word, Jesus, jail.
Yeah.
And they meet, they start bank robbing spree. They hit up several banks. I saw this when I was like 14, 15, and I loved it. I watched it so many times. It's when I first fell in love with Kate Blanchett. Like, just love her so much. They end up meeting Kate Blanchett not too long into the movie, and she's in a failing marriage, and she decides to run away, and she ends up meeting them, and yeah. So I won't give anything more than, obviously there's several bank heists. She starts to help them with the heists and blah blah blah. Directed by Barry Levinson. So obviously Levinson is pretty great. Diner, Good Morning America. I mean, Good Morning Vietnam. Stuff like that. So again, another one that if you haven't seen, Bandits, I adore this movie. I think it's fun in all the right places, and tense and funny. I and Billy Bob Thornton, we don't see him enough. Kate Blanchett's amazing, and it's one of Bruce's good ones. So definitely check out Bandits. So
All
that is
right.
my
Do you have a
number 4.
Do you have a favorite Billy Bob Thornton movie?
Sling Blade, I
Blade.
think.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
Have you ever seen The Ice Harvest with John Cusack?
It's actually funny because in my dad's grocery store, they had videos for a while, and I
Yeah.
remember seeing the cover for
Hmm.
so long, and I don't think I've actually seen it.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good. It's funny. It's dark humor. There's a lot of money involved, and
Okay.
Billy Bob ends up in a steamer trunk. So, but using Billy Bob humor all the way through it, coming from it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely something that you should.
Oliver Platt. Yeah, no, I will definitely. Oh, Randy Quaid back before
Yeah.
he was crazy.
Yeah,
Randy
Randy
Quaid.
Quaid actually plays. You don't see him till the end. He's actually a mobster.
Okay.
He's like the head mobster. So yeah,
Interesting.
it's a phenomenal movie. It's a very dark humor if you like that, and I think you.
Uh, I'm gonna put it in my watch list because it's so funny because lately I've just been coming across movies where I've only seen the poster from when I like around this time period from like 2000 to 2005 when my dad had the videos, and it's so funny now, like, people are like, have you ever seen this movie? And I'm like, no, but I've seen the cover.
I saw the
It's
box sitting on the
yeah.
shelf.
Does that count? I probably read the back because I was so obsessed with movies and deciding which ones to bring home and then
Yeah.
never returning. Uh, so yeah, you're number 4.
My number four. My number four. I just saw it this week because I had to revisit it. Is The Italian Job.
I have not seen this one.
Well, yes, I know. This is the one that I'm going to assign to you, sir.
No way, really?
Yes, because that was part of my homework is to assign you something.
It
And
is.
I saw in your letterbox that you want to watch it. So
Okay.
this is fun.
I just
Opens
wrote
and
it down.
closes with a job.
Hmm.
Mark Wahlberg, Donald Sutherland, and Ed Norton, who continues to play the biggest pricks in movies. Um, Much like my favorite one up here, Rounders.
Yeah.
He's a prick in that one. But this one, um, he's such an evil prick and on the level of Rounders, but I think he's got a little bit more piss and vinegar
Okay.
in this one. And he even has the evil genius soul patch, just like the mustache, but with the soul patch.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, he's such an asshole, and I won't give away everything for you, but they pull off a job and it goes awry afterwards. There's a great chase scene, and it looks like it's a commercial for Mini Coopers, the car.
Italy, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it starts in Italy. They go to Philadelphia, and then I think they go to L.A.
Okay.
So it goes to a couple different places, and they pick up the incredibly beautiful Charlize Theron. She's my favorite. Um,
Doesn't
Along
love
the
her.
way, and she's very cool, calm, and collective, and they add her to the bunch, and there's double crosses the whole way through, and it's really a fantastic movie. Mos Def is in this one, and who else is in it? They all have nicknames too. If you have a crew that's pulling off a heist, you have to have nicknames.
Of course.
Like Left Ear because he's an explosive expert, and the
Mr.
explosive
Pink.
went off in his ear, and he was deaf in his left
Oh.
ear. So
Yeah,
so
I saw Most Def. Where is Most Def? Where is he these days?
I
Come
don't
on.
know. I don't know, but he's in this movie and he's great. His deadpan comedy is pretty good. There's a chuckle or two, but begins and ends with the heist, and that is okay in my book. So that is my number four.
Have you ever seen 16 Blocks with
I
it's
saw the
Bruce Willis and Mos
Yeah,
Def?
I saw the first 5 minutes of it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
And that was enough to turn it off.
No, it was in the back of a 16 passenger van. We
Oh,
were on a road trip and somebody started it and then they put their headphones in, so I couldn't hear what was going
oh
on.
my
I
god.
figured I stopped.
Well,
Um,
that's not very
yeah,
fun.
that's early 2000s, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a pretty good movie. Um, so my number three is uh another kind of unconventional one, but from one of my favorite directors, David Fincher. It's Panic Room, um, with Jodie Foster, Forrest Whitaker, Dwight Yoakam, Jared Leto, and Kristen Stewart. Before she was Kristen Stewart.
Before she was
Um,
Joan Jett.
yeah, yeah, right. So it's about Jodie Foster's character, Meg Altman, and her daughter. They move into this new four-story brownstone, New York City, and it has a panic room. And on the first night, their place is broken into. If you haven't seen Panic Room, you got to go see it at your local Cineplex. It's
Run,
probably
don't
still
walk.
playing. No, I'm just kidding. But these guys break into her home, and because they know something is in the house left from the previous owners, and that's all I'll say. These women go into the panic room, and it's it's a very, very, very tense thriller. It followed Fight Club. It's the one that came after.
All right.
Excuse me, people. Jeez, I mean, yawn. I bought a tortoise last night.
I saw.
Yesterday. Yeah.
Congratulations.
So it's been a weird 24 hours, and like the kids and yeah.
And,
So
and
uh
tell everyone the tortoise's name.
oh yes, the tortoise's name is Laura Dern.
Fantastic.
I like to affectionately call her Laura Dern, or the Dernisaur, Laura Dernisaur. So yeah, Laura Dern, the tortoise. She's amazing. She's 3 years old. So anyway, so my weekend's just been kind of crazy. I almost forgot we had this tonight until like 2-3 hours ago, and I was like, thank God I have everything fucking done because, oh man. Anyways, Panic Room. I can't say too much more than that. Written by David. I can never remember how to say his name. David Koepp or Coep, but he was also the writer of Jurassic Park and the Lost World Jurassic Park. He's one of our better writers, except for the fact that he did Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls. So, but he also did another spy film, Mission Impossible. Anyways, I'm getting off track. So
That's okay.
Panic Room,
I
check
like
it out.
Panic Room. Panic
Yes.
Room is good.
So see, again, it's not a traditional heist. It's more about the girls and the heist surrounding them, and how they're going to survive and stuff. But I just couldn't leave it off, I guess. What was your number four again? Sorry.
My number four is The Italian Job.
I knew that. Yeah, that's
Better
the one you
remember it.
assigned me.
It's your turn to watch it.
All right, the Italian Job. I wrote it down. So it's your number three.
My number three. One of my favorite Denzel Washington movies, and probably one of the only Spike Lee movies that I like, because it's not a traditional Spike Lee movie, and it is Inside Man.
Literally was this close to making the list, and then I pulled it off because I was worried that you might have it, or like, because who doesn't love this movie? It's so good.
Yes, yes. It's a bank robbery movie. Everyone dresses the same. They pull. Willem Dafoe is in this. Willem Dafoe, who thinks he's in charge until Denzel shows up, and then rightfully he steps aside.
And Jody's in this one as well, too, right?
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
She is go between because she knows the secret.
Don't give anything away. What if people haven't
No,
seen it? I don't know.
there's a secret, and she's got it, and she knows. And she is the negotiator that they go to after if the normal negotiator can't pull it off,
Right.
and that is Denzel, and the scenes with Denzel and it's Clive Owen, and they have a back and forth that you're like, these guys could probably be friends, except one's trying to rob this bank and the other one wants to stop him from robbing the bank.
Yeah.
Um, but the twists and turns, it takes place in the bank for the most part, um,
Yep.
until afterwards, and things kind of come together in the last 15-20 minutes. But
Clive Owen
this is a
is
phenomenal
Clive
heist.
Owen's great in this.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't think he cracks a smile
No,
the entire
he's
time.
creepy. He's
And half the time his face is covered anyway. So,
yeah.
um, with some,
And she would tell Ejiofor before he was you know, in 12 Years a Slave and everybody knew his name.
yeah,
But
yeah, but
good choice.
just a phenomenal, just the planning that goes into it, and every little detail is uh is performed to get this heisted the way it is.
Yeah.
And it is again, it could be my number one, it could be my number five, but it's stuck in the middle.
You know what? And if I, that's the thing with these lists is of I wanted to put this isn't necessarily my top five, and I'm glad you're doing it your top five. I did it more like some that I want to mention, but if I had done it originally, Inside Man could have been my number one. Heat could have been my number one. I mean, it's, you can basically write out these lists in your head
Yes.
of what the top five should be. I went a little weird with it, but
Yeah, and maybe my five are too mainstream, but these are my favorites. These
what are you
are
gonna do?
ones that, yeah.
You can't win over everyone. Someone's gonna say
I'm not gonna apologize because I love these freaking films. They're just so great.
I know someone's gonna be mad that we don't have any 1940s or 1950s heist films. I know they've been around for years and years, but I haven't seen a lot of 1950s heist films. But I mean, no, I don't think I've seen any.
there's a very popular 70s one, or it might even be 60s,
Okay.
that is on my also brands, which I will go over.
So my number two is getting back to the basics, I guess, and kind of a little bit more normal. It stars Ben Affleck, directed by Ben Affleck, and it is The Town. I love this movie.
My number two, sir.
Oh, perfect. So jump right on. I think Ben Affleck should direct more. I think everything he's directed has been pretty much a hit. In my eyes, I love Gone Baby Gone, and
Did he do Argo?
Argo I like, and then he helped. He did like The Last Duel, or helped write it, or so Rebecca Hall, John Hamm, Jeremy Renner, Blake Lively, and a bunch of other people. Chris Cooper, Pete Postlethwaite, who died not long after that. So I guess it's in Boston, obviously. Boston.
Yeah. I don't like the Boston accent. My apologies to the people in Boston. The accent is not my favorite, but I will put up with it through this movie. This is a fantastic movie.
Yeah, I can't get enough of the Boston accent. I love it. I love being immersed in the Boston world, like a Marky Mark movie, or it's just great. And I mean, we like, this is where we first started to see like Jeremy Renner first came, like, right into our faces, like Hurt Locker and this, and yeah, just John Hamm, before he was like, I don't know if he was doing Mad Men then, but like still
No, this is
great.
before Mad Men.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I think so.
So
For sure,
yeah,
I think.
I'll let you talk a bit about it because it's your number two as well. But yeah, I
Yeah,
love this
yeah.
movie.
It's again, it starts with a heist and ends with a heist. And
Mhm.
um, who's his love interest?
Rebecca Hall,
Rebecca Hall. Okay.
the
Uh,
beautiful,
yeah,
lovely.
innocent.
Mhm.
Has no idea what this guy's about, but yeah, the whole interplay with them. But I don't know. Can we give away stuff during this?
No, I
Okay.
mean, we've seen this kind of love story a million times before, where it's like, oh, the woman who falls in love with the bad guy or a not great guy, and she doesn't know his bad side, or what he does, and but
Mhm.
then she finds out. We've seen it before, but it's very well done. Um, and again, like a lot of people hate to hear this, but the town, like Boston, is like that's why it's called the town because it's this little Boston town, and it's almost like its own character. It's just I love this movie. Probably should have been my number one, but I went.
The
Yeah.
there's a scene in there where they are pulling off a job and they're all dressed as nuns,
Mm-hmm.
and there's
Haunting.
when all four of them are staring at the little kid. I think the little kid's holding a ball or something on the
Right.
street, and it's just you don't know whether to laugh or shiver in fear. Uh, and then it ends with the biggest of heists, and it's just a phenomenal movie. There's guns, there's unintentional comedy, I think,
Yeah, for sure.
in one or two spots,
For sure.
and but it has everything that a heist movie needs and deserves. And I cannot recommend this movie enough. Every character in there is at the top of their game.
Yeah, I read the book for Gone Baby Gone. And the town is also based on a book by the same author, Chuck Hogan.
Okay.
Um, and I should have read that one as well. So, I think I'm
So
right on
Ben
that.
Affleck is the director of Gone Baby Gone, with his
Yes.
brother starring, with Casey
Yes.
starring.
Casey starring, yes.
God,
The
I
better
have to see
Affleck.
that too. I have to go back and watch that too.
Am I
I
completely
haven't seen that in years.
okay? You know what? I'm wrong about the book thing. Don't listen to me. I read Gone Baby Gone. I thought they was the same director. Okay.
I
Here's
didn't even know it was a book.
you know what? I was thinking of this guy who wrote Gone Baby Gone. He wrote The Strain, a series of books that I read, kind of co-written with Guillermo del Toro, and then they made it into a TV show called The
Yeah.
Strain,
Is
about
that,
vampires, kind of. Yeah, so
is that
that's what I was
FX?
thinking.
Is that on FX? It was a miniseries
I think so. I
or
think
a
one of those like FX or something. I think they tried to do a couple seasons, but then it didn't get a big enough
yeah.
following.
Gotcha.
So my number one is a heist film for the nerds. Uh, Not your traditional heist film at all. Uh, it is 2010's Inception. Uh, a heist in someone's mind. Cobb and Arthur, DiCaprio, and what's his name? Anyways, uh, there's Ken Watanabe, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Marion Cotillard, Elliot Page, Tom Hardy, Cillian Murphy, Tom Berenger, Michael Caine, of course, and all of Christopher Nolan's movies, written by Christopher Nolan, directed. Uh, and I love this movie. Uh, I know some people. I don't think the love for this movie has stood the test of time. A lot of people like to make fun of it. I think these days, from what I've heard. Oh, Tom Hardy was in this also. Like,
Yeah, I
and
see him in it.
I remember falling in love with him. with
Michael
him.
Caine. Wow.
Yes, yeah, Michael Caine. Great movie. Just I don't know what else I can say. I'm sure everybody listening has seen Inception. Essentially, the heist is they need to go into somebody's brain to steal plans. Uh, and that's the only way you can steal these plans is because they're in this person's head. It's called, performing Inception, right? And blah blah blah. So, and all I'll say, have you seen it?
I saw it when it first came out, or when it
Yeah,
first hit. It was probably what year is it? 2010.
yeah. Do you think the top is still spinning, or do you think?
I I got to be honest with you. I mean, this was what 13 years ago. I,
Yeah,
I was lost. I didn't
yeah.
I didn't get it. I think now that I'm older and uh, maybe if I watch it by myself, I think that maybe I'll enjoy it a little bit more because I saw it with three other people.
Hmm.
I if I don't know what's going on halfway through a movie, I tend to kind of
Hmm.
fizz out a little bit. Um,
I don't know that I 100% fully got it either. I just enjoyed the ride. I think if Christopher Nolan came out with it now after Tenet and everything,
yeah,
I wouldn't be so willing to love it as much as I did because the the ship has sailed a little bit on Nolan. Like it's too bad to say that because like Tenet was Tenet, but like I don't know. I like that movie and I hate it at the same time. But anyway, that's a whole other
and
story.
that's something that I heard about Tenet too. Like you don't understand what's really going on, and
No,
I
I
don't.
couldn't tell you what went on. No. I know it yeah. I know I saw it twice, three times I think, but I couldn't tell you what happened.
Yeah, I think I'll go back twice to watch something if I still don't know what's going on. I'm out. But
Yeah.
maybe I'll at some point if I see it on one of my streaming services, I will give it another chance. But I'll be honest with you, maybe I wasn't in the right headspace, but I did not know what was going on.
So, and I'll just say this last thing and then I'll stop. I think with Inception was enjoyable enough that you didn't really care about knowing what was going on, but you could, if you thought about it or watched it gave it a second watch, you could understand what was going on. With Tenet, there's no you don't understand what's going on and you can't understand it. Like you might be able to figure it out, but it still doesn't really make sense. And I don't think it's an enjoyable enough movie to warrant the love, like warrant having to figure it out. Like I watched it a second time and I was like, okay, I'm good. I don't need to see it again. I still don't get it. I don't need to get it because it's not an enjoyable enough experience for me to try to sit here and try to get it
Yeah,
because I don't care enough. The characters weren't great enough. So
yeah, I
shit.
don't agree with just saying that it's oh, it's a great movie because everyone else is saying it. It's
Of
just
course,
if you don't get it, you don't get it.
and that's
Sometimes it
who
happens.
cares. Yeah,
Sometimes these movies are puzzling.
exactly.
Sure.
So drum
So
roll, your number one. I bet you I
yeah,
can
my
guess
number
it.
one. It's go ahead. You already know what it is. It's
Is it 11? Is it 11?
it is 11.
Okay.
It is 11. If I had to rank the three of them, I would go 13 as number two, and then Ocean's 12 as my last one. Still enjoyable. Uh,
Hmm.
there's the Paramount Channel. I think was doing it. Was it yesterday or Friday? They were running all three of them.
Of
But
course.
here's the thing that I hate though, because they run them. We're going to run them all day, but we're not going to run them 11, 12, and 13 and then start over again at 11. So it'll go 11, 12, 13, 12, 11, depending on what time it is. And
Oh.
I don't get it. But I would say the first 20 minutes of Ocean's 12, where Terry Benedict finds all of them,
Hmm.
is a must watch. I mean, that's the best
Okay.
part of the movie to me. Um, I don't like the villain, the Night Cat or whatever his name is. Um, but no, the my Ocean's 11, the first one, um, from the planning, the cast itself is phenomenal. And
Oh yeah.
as much as I love every character in there, Terry Benedict is my favorite. Andy Garcia is my favorite, and I almost want to root for him, but he's such an asshole that that you can't root for him.
No.
But he's he's too cool for any room that he's in, and and they get the best of him. And Matt Damon wanting to be more and more involved in it, um, and him throwing himself out a window when they're when they're stealing something, and then jumping on the van while the cops are chasing him across the roof, is fun. It's just it's from top to bottom, and then the last 40 minutes when they actually steal the money from the vault is just it's gripping. It's not something that you can ever. I mean, the beginning could be kind of slow,
Hmm.
but once they get inside the casino and they and everybody has their role, it really is just it's just tremendous.
Hmm.
It's just a um it's probably in my top 10
Hmm.
of all time. It's
That's
definitely
good.
obviously my favorite heist film. But my next poster. See, I here's a quick story for you. So the Rounders poster that I have, I asked for my birthday. My daughter asked me what I wanted. I said I wanted that. What I actually got, or what was actually sent to her, I gotta go. I gotta go this way. Is Step Brothers. You see this, the scene from Step Brothers with John
Yes.
C. Riley and Will Ferrell? That's what the guy sent her. And she's like, "Well, I have Step Brothers, and the guy's going to send me the right one, but like, I was just going to throw it away." I was like, "Absolutely not.
No, Step Brothers is great.
Yeah, I'm putting that in my office."
That's
So,
awesome.
but my next poster of this size will be the 11 of them staring at the Bellagio
Yeah.
fountains at the
Yeah.
end, while the fountains are going off. It's just it just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
No, that's awesome. That's like the same feeling I get when I see the T Rex roaring in the Hammond building at the
Mm-hmm.
end of Jurassic Park. Uh,
With the banner coming down.
exactly.
Yeah,
Um, have you seen the 1960 Ocean's 11
I have
film?
not, and
No.
I don't know that I want to.
Well, yeah, it's got
I
like
don't want to ruin it.
yeah, it's got 48% on Rotten Tomatoes. It mixed reviews when it came out. I mean, you got Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Angie Dickinson, but I don't know if I just thought if since you're such a big fan, but yeah, if you think it might just ruin it for you, then
Yeah,
I don't know.
if it comes across if it come across my streaming service and I have a little bit to watch it, I
You
probably
should
would.
do it.
I haven't actively seeked it out because
Yeah,
I don't
you
want to be
should do it.
disappointed.
Come on. Come on.
All right.
All right, so let's go through our top five and from five to one. You first.
All right, my five is Heat. Number four is the Italian Job.
Mhm.
Number three, Inside Man. Number two, The Town, and my number one, Ocean's 11.
And I thought that our crossovers would be the town if there was going to be any. And yeah, so I got that right.
Well done.
So my number five was Cop Car. Number four, Bandits. Number three, Panic Room. Number two, The Town. Number one, Inception. Uh, Also ran Steve.
Also, Rance. Now, I know there's been much discussion on this, and you and
Hmm.
I have had a full discussion. And in fact, I actually had a discussion with your lovely mother about this.
Oh my god.
Is Die Hard
You
a
leave my
heist
mother
movie?
out of this. No, I'm just kidding.
Is Die Hard a heist movie? I would say yes.
Yeah, it's a heist movie. It's a Christmas movie. It's, yeah, you're right. It's all those things. It's
Okay, good.
If
So
you
I have
want to go back and find an episode of Steve and I talking about if Die Hard is a Christmas movie, my mom hops on for at least, I think, almost 10 minutes. You and her chatted about it.
yes, we had a good
Uh,
time.
and
I almost
like,
forgot you were there.
yeah, thanks. And I remember about halfway through the call, like she went into it like about ready to just say to you, you are wrong and you aren't going to change my mind. And then halfway through your guys' chat, she's like, okay, well, I can see where you're coming from. And I'm like, Mom, no, what the fuck? I bring you on my podcast and you're like now like changing your thoughts? No, that's not how it
Woohoo!
works. Oh my God. Anyways, that
If
was a
I only
funny
had
one.
that much luck on my own podcast of changing people's minds, but
Yeah.
that's
So Die Hard, the
so
Christmas.
Die Hard is on there. Reservoir Dogs is on there.
Mm-hmm.
There was I believe it was Netflix, might be HBO Max, called No Sudden Moves. Just out in the last year.
I haven't seen it yet, but I've
Yeah,
heard good
No Sudden
things.
Move. There's so many twists and turns in that one. That's fantastic. That one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Another Steven Soderbergh movie, Logan Lucky.
Oh, yeah, that's in my also rans as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
almost had it on my list.
Yeah. Baby Driver, what I mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Both renditions of The Taking of Pelham 123. I believe the 1970, I think it's
Mm-hmm.
73, but the 70s movie I think is better than the John Travolta and Denzel Washington, but it's still good. It
Yeah,
is.
I know Anderson would say blasphemy, but I think the remake was actually decently well done.
Mhm.
I had a good time with it, but I can see if you have a huge love for the first one, it all depends, right, where your head's at.
Yeah.
But yeah, any
Uh,
more?
yeah. Jason Statham in The Bank Job, Dog Day Afternoon with Al Pacino. The Sting, which was the one from the 60s that I'm sure would be on everyone's list.
The Sting, yes.
Yeah, it still holds up to this day. Robert Shaw is incredible. And one that my last one is a guilty pleasure, and I've seen it a couple times. Elijah Wood and Nicolas Cage, called The Trust. Have
Hmm.
you seen this?
No.
Yeah, this one is let's see. The description is: when Stone discovers an unusually high bail receipt in connection to a drug bust, two friends are sent into plan into motion to find the source of money.
Hmm.
Um, there's a Jerry Lewis appearance in this. Sky Ferreira, Eric Heister, and Kenneth James. But it's a lot of Nicolas Cage and Elijah Wood. And
Obviously a pretty young Elijah Wood, or is
no,
it?
20. This is 2016. He's
Oh.
older.
Oh,
He's
okay.
older.
So that's not
He's
that
Nicolas
long ago.
Cage's partner, and Nicolas Cage is he's Nicolas Cage. He's a
This
little
is this is post Frodo. So
yeah
it's
yeah.
either for me it's pre Frodo or post Frodo, because he was like a kid actor like in a lot of things, and then he was Frodo, and
Mhm.
then I saw him as an adult from then on,
Yeah.
even though he played a hobbit.
The other it's got a 63% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay, well, yeah.
And corrupt cops working in the police department evidence rooms scheme to rob a vault containing drug money out of the back of a convenience store.
Hmm.
I don't know where you can find this, but if you do, it's worth the shot. I'm not the biggest Nicolas Cage fan, but this is he's manic, he's funny, he's um it's just an enjoyable movie to me.
I already forget what it's called. The Trust.
The Trust.
The
Yes.
Trust.
We throw that into our Just Watch. The
Roku channel, Vudu, Tubi, Pluto. Give it a watch, people. You can watch it
yeah,
everywhere, pretty much.
yeah,
So that's
it's
good.
fun, especially if you're a Nicolas Cage fan. It's not to be missed. But
I have not even seen this fucking poster. That's crazy.
yeah,
Huh.
yeah, it's such a good movie. There's
Hmm.
there's some comedy in it, but it's definitely worth the watch. So those are my also rants.
Hold on. Hold on. Riff. The Trust. The Trust. And of course, it's not streaming anywhere in Canada, but you can rent it for $3.99 in Canada.
Of course you can.
Yeah. That's Canadian dollars.
Yes. So
So
that's what, 4 cents here?
you're
Are your
funny.
boonies a little higher up there than they are down here?
Oh my god, no.
No.
I literally the I was gonna get this package sent to me, but I had to get it sent to a friend because it was within the United States. So I had to get it sent to a friend who lives in the States, and then she sent it to me, and it was like so expensive to just get it sent to me.
Really?
Yeah, and then no, never mind. But and then sometimes when things come over the border, they put an extra charge on it. So when the mail person comes to your door, they're like, what is it called? Like some fees. They're like, oh, there's another $30 fee on this because to get it through the border.
And you have to pay the mailman.
Yeah, literally,
Yeah.
you have to give FedEx or UPS
Yeah.
like they've got their
COD.
little
Yeah,
what's that?
cash on demand. It's called
Cash.
COD. Yeah.
Okay, it's ridiculous. Fucking Canada, man.
Yeah. Well,
My also rans. Drive. Obviously, I had Inside Man. I had Heat. Hell or High Water. That's a great one. You seen Hell or High Water? You would like that.
no.
You
No,
would
isn't
really
that?
like. That's Jeff Bridges and I think it's Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Breaking Bad. Hell or High Water. It's a great movie.
Ben Foster and Taylor Sheridan too.
Ben Foster, not Aaron Paul. I get them mixed up. Jeff Bridges,
Chris
Chris
Pine. Chris
Pine.
Pine's in there.
Yeah. Written by Taylor Sheridan, who did Sicario.
This has a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. How did I miss this?
Yeah, it's great, man. It's really, really good. I thought you'd be nodding your head, but I can't believe you haven't seen it.
Oh,
This is a guilty pleasure, national treasure from my youth with Nicolas Cage. I love National Treasure. Good Time with Robert Pattinson is. I left it off because it's kind of a heist movie. It's definitely more about like the brothers and breaking him out of
yes.
jail. I love that movie though.
I love that movie. That was fantastic. Yes.
Yeah. I think I could have any of the Mission Impossibles on my list except for maybe the second one. Although are they started they're kind of like the Fast and the Furious movies. They started out as one thing and they're kind of something else now. They're the heist isn't always like the big thing. Like in the last one, weren't they like trying to stop a bomb pretty much by the end for that was going to destroy the world? But uh Reservoir Dogs, and then Jackie Brown is one that I love Jackie Brown. I'm one of the few that just adore Tarantino Jackie Brown. So yeah.
Alrighty.
Those are my also rans. Before I let you go, what have you seen recently?
Well, like I said, I've been on a Denzel kick,
Yeah.
and I got to pull up my letterbox here because sometimes I forget.
Like, what's your favorite 2023 movie so far that you've seen? If you've seen a few.
Let's see. What have I watched? That is 2023. No, that's 2022. I finally saw. Well, I don't know that have I seen a 2023 movie yet. I don't know. I finally saw. I've been recently in the past few months. I've been catching up on movies that I should have seen a long time ago.
That's smart.
I finally saw Parasite.
Oh yeah, what'd you think?
Yeah, because I'm aptly against subtitles for some reason.
You don't like to read. You and Brian are.
No, I don't like to read. Even though my daughter's a librarian, but I don't.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know why. I don't. That gene must have slipped through somewhere. But I love this movie.
Yeah,
I love it. It did not. The subtitles did not slow me down.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I
think I remember trying to get you to watch it. I remember saying like, and you were just so, I don't know.
I think that was everywhere.
Yes,
everywhere all at once, which I still have not gone back and watched.
No,
I'm sorry.
No, you know what? You're only letting yourself down.
Yes, I know, but
I'm just kidding.
I'll get it at some point. I went back and watched Hancock with Will Smith and Jason Bateman.
Charlize.
and Charlize. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
fantastic.
Hancock, I remember liking that when I saw it in theaters, and I had a good time. Like it's not great, but it's a fun little movie and it's good comedy. I love Bateman.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's fun. The comedy in it and the Will Smith, I really don't give a shit character to
yeah,
me is
fun.
one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I went back and watched American Gangster, which is also on your list of want to watch.
Oh, well, actually, that's a weird one because I have seen it, but I was so young that I didn't. You know what I mean? So I haven't rated it or anything on Letterboxd because I'm like, I don't think I can give it a fair rating. Obviously, I really liked it, but so much of it went over my head. I was
Yeah.
like 13, 12 maybe when I saw it. So,
Mhm. The
yeah.
last, I think, now that I'm thinking about it, my favorite 2023 movie is probably at this point A Knock at the Cabin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it actually. I more than I thought I would. I didn't love it, but it was a good time.
Yeah.
Actually, and Momoa was great,
Mhm.
and I think that's where Shyamalan kind of needs to be is in smaller settings. Not too much going on. Like Old wasn't that great, but it was still fun and interesting, right? Like Shyamalan, I think he's starting to understand what he should stick to.
Yeah, I enjoyed Old. I've talked to people that hated it,
I didn't hate it, that's for sure.
but yeah, it every one of his movies to me, most of them anyway, have a good premise. It's just, are you going to be disappointed by the end or not?
Yeah,
You know, but Knock at the Cabin I thought was perfect.
yeah,
It wasn't hard to understand. They pretty much spelled it out for you by the end, and it was very very enjoyable.
yeah, yeah,
So that would be my favorite one of 2023, and I have a couple that I'm really looking forward to
yeah.
coming up: The Equalizer 3, and one that I
Indiana
just
Jones.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. It's my second all time favorite movie,
that's
is
what I
Raiders of
thought.
the Lost Ark,
Yeah.
and yeah, and I'm gonna see it, and I don't care if anybody sees me in the theater. I don't care. I don't care if they make fun of me for going in. I'm
Oh,
gonna
who
see it. I don't care
cares?
how old he is. He's still got the hat, and it's still, they put that shadow of him in the hat in every single movie,
Yeah.
and I love it. So
You're
I'm gonna watch
only you're only a few years older than him, right?
that. Thanks. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that.
You
Yes,
thought I was
yes, I
serious
am.
there.
Yes, I am. And look how much better I look.
Yeah, that's true. You thought I was seriously asking you for a second. Your eyes went like,
You caught me for a second.
does he actually think I'm in my 70s? Jesus. No, I'm kidding.
Uh, there's
Um,
there's another one real quick. There's one with Jennifer Lawrence that I just saw the trailer for. It's called No Hard Feelings. It comes out later this month. Have you seen this one?
I caught the tail end of the trailer when I was walking into a movie.
Yeah,
Uh,
it looks
and
pretty funny. So
yeah.
it's probably not going to do very well, but
Oh, it might be great. I love her. So
she looks phenomenal.
yeah, yeah.
She really,
She just had a baby.
yeah, she looks great. Sorry,
Was-
getting off
no, no, that's okay. We'll make sure
the
your
hot
wife
babe,
doesn't listen to this.
the hot babe vault.
Well, where can people find you, your socials, your podcast, which I will link to?
Thank you. Thank you. My letterbox is Rice Crop 44, and you can catch me on the Grass is Blue podcast. We're on all your major platforms. We do have a Twitter, the Grass is Blue podcast as well. And we're on Facebook at the Grass is Blue podcast. And if you have any show ideas or
Hmm.
you've listened to an episode and you want to yell at me, we're at the Grass is Blue podcast at gmail.com.
That's awesome.
Yes, thank you for having me. As always, it's a pleasure. It's always good seeing you,
It is.
and all the fun goes behind you. This is my favorite of all of your studios that I've seen you in.
Yes.
It's
This
always good
is
to see you, Mitch.
this is my permanent studio. I've tried to do it in different places, but this is the place where I get least echo. It's cold. I hate the basement, but whatever. It's fine. I'm more focused down here. If I'm doing it
Sure.
in other places, it's like, the dogs are running by, or now the tortoise is at my feet or something. Uh, so it's great.
Well, you look good, you sound good,
You too,
and
buddy.
every show that you run is a favorite of mine. So
Oh, well, thank you.
thanks for having me. I
Oh,
appreciate it.
anytime, anytime. You can find everything the Film Vault falters on Instagram and Facebook. I have my link trees there, and so just go over there, and all my links are there. So that's the easiest way. And everyone, thank you for listening to Top 5 Heist Films with Steve Rice.
Thank you.
Bye. All right, buddy.
All right, pal. We're
Thank
good.
you so much.
Hey, anytime. I'm
That
always
was
here for
fun.
you if you need me.
It went by so quick.
Yeah.
I thought like I thought we were like only half an hour in, and then I looked at the time and it was almost an hour, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this has gone by super fast. So
Yeah.